firm. This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Good afternoon and welcome, and thank you for joining us here on this truly terrific Tuesday. And let's mix it up a good bit because we have in the studio with us for a couple of days anyway, Jevaughnie Ebanks. Jevy.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Is it buenos dias, señor?
I know it's, well, I'm partly on vacation, so, morning,
Which part
afternoon.
are you on vacation?
All parts. Morning, afternoon, and evening kind of crossover for me.
Well, there you go.
Like, I'm not sure if it's 8 a.m., 4 p.m., or midnight.
Well, we got to check the time because we're going for a quick little, what is this, Susan? Like, sponsor credit, station ID, and all kind of things. Susan can make sure we behave. Right. When we come back, it'll be open line, and you'll be the first to call. Well, we'll give you a special evening with Jevy. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is brought to you by South Coast Bar and Grill in Breakers, a true Caymanian experience.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Flow.
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us here on this Tuesday edition of Talk Today. In the studio, Jevaughnie Ebanks joins us, and really appreciate the opportunity to share with you, Jevy. Thank you for the chance. It's going to be open line, but that means that with Jevy, we can answer almost any question.
Right.
Yeah, we got to debunk, Einstein's theory of relativity before the day is out.
I mean, I'm not sure if I'm capable of doing it. Maybe Susan is. She can probably chime in there, but that's not my area of expertise.
You see that? He's only been there for a short time. Already he knows Susan knows everything, right?
I just figure between the two of you, Susan is the one who I should trust. I'm just saying, it's making smart decisions out here.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, listen. This is it. And it's open. And no matter where you are, you can give us a shout if you can get through. 949-8037. 1-800-534-8255. And, maybe breakfast with Jevy, coffee with me.
Oh, that would work.
Yeah.
I'm down for that, actually.
There you go. The first caller gets Susan's private number. But in case it's posted on Facebook, 1-800-534-8255. You can call and share your thoughts.
I mean, we can put Susan's number out there for true.
Yeah, we want to.
Hey, I mean, her finger is on that delay button. She's going, you know what? We're about to go to a quick commercial break.
Did you see her face then? She's like,
yeah.
You want me to call my brothers on you?
Yeah.
You better behave. No, but honestly, Jeffy, the idea, right, that we are in this place where, for the most part, we're not as accommodating and accepting of our own and their success and their willingness to engage in banter. But yet, some of the nonsense that permeate our airwaves, some of the foolishness that are in our bylines, some of the other things, right?
They listen to shows that have us on it.
I was just going to say, and the talk shows like that.
Yeah.
I mean, really?
For 2.5, 3 hours a day.
Lucky, and 4 on some days,
That's right.
All right. But it's going to be open line, and there are a number of things. I don't know about you, Mr. Ebanks, but I've had... I'm not quite sure how to position it just yet, but let's tell you in terms of the comments. Apparently, there are two petitions. So a fellow in the financial sector who I think would be considered one of those, very, very ambitious, upwardly mobile, very involved.
Right.
I say there were competing petitions. One is asking for the governor or the former governor, not quite sure, he said what that term would be to return. And others saying, no, we have a capable deputy governor. He's in the position. Why not elevate it? If it means that we got to advance our constitution, go independent, so be it. But elevate Mr. Manderson for governor. Right? So here are these two. Now I haven't been looking at the numbers to see which one has what, who's supporting which one, and the like. But again, an interesting time in our history.
It is an interesting time, and to me, it's one of those hit or miss situations. You're people are saying, "Hey, well, let's bring back Governor Chowdhury," and you're right. There's so much confusion around that whole situation. We're not even sure how to refer to him, because we have never in our history ever had a governor recalled from his position back to the UK. We've never heard that term before, and so it provides a level of uncertainty that people want answers for, and I think that is such a high level of skepticism around that. Persons are just feeling very unsure, and that's when the petition came out to have our current deputy governor to be the entire governor's office, if you will. Yeah.
As you're speaking with me, as you share, I'm looking at quick messages that's coming in, and some was written in epistles, some was written bullet points.
Right.
And sometimes I have to try to determine what part of this is, just for me, what part of it is just to try to inflame people and not just inform. But this person is writing in relation to the two petitions. Say, I signed both.
Oh, well, it's democracy, so you have every right to do that. Where does that put us? I think I don't think now is the right time at all for people to be making that decision. I think these petitions came out a bit prematurely because we all want answers. That's, that's no question about it. The leader of the opposition sent a letter to Lord Ahmad this past week, and it was a very detailed letter where he expressed his concerns. I think we just kind of need to wait for something official. I don't think now is the right time for the country to be trying to decide, well, should we take back the old governor? Should we bring back the governor that was just recalled? Or should we have the current deputy governor be the governor? I think right now we just need to figure out what exactly is happening, because the truth is we don't really know. And to make any decision, whether left, right, or centrist, without any information, to me, is dangerous. I would like to be as informed as I possibly can before I make a decision.
Indeed. Well, let's check our phone lines.
All right.
949-8837 or 1-800-534. Fellow say he's trying to get through. Let's check our lines and see where we are. For those who listen, it is open line. Jevaughnie Ebanks sits with us, and after today, he's going to take over the world.
Well, I love the confidence. Hopefully, right. That's the plan. That's the plan. But take over the world for the better.
For the better,
of course.
Man. Susan, I will be your deputies. And deputies are central. Let's go to the phone. Say good afternoon and welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
Hey, my friend. How are you today, man?
Good. I'm not sure who you have on your panel, but good afternoon to those people.
Right.
I'm not sure. I didn't get the name.
Sorry, Jevaughnie Ebanks. Jevy sits with me. Just
Jevy. All right, no problem. I wasn't able to listen. I'm actually overseas, so I decided to call in because I've been reading a lot of stuff on the social media with the and I hope you guys don't mind me changing the subject.
No, it's open line, man. You take it where you want to go.
All right. No, I've been seeing a lot of comments being made about the boardwalk in South Sound. Obviously, it brings up some grave concerns on obviously the necessity of it from the beginning was in question. Now we've seen the completion of it, and now we've gotten the price tag of 1.3 million CI dollars. It's kind of alarming, and it needs to be talked about, and we need to have PAC look into whether or not we got value for money, because for the life of me, I can't see what 1.3 million CI dollars was spent on that boardwalk, because obviously it's just a matter of concrete pourings and some Trex wood put in the center. And I didn't see any elaborate hydraulic systems that was put in place prior to putting in the cement slabs that would allow the boardwalk to act as a seawall whenever we have bad weather. I didn't see any of that being put in place because that certainly would have justified the cost. Now, I would really like to bring the awareness of the government projects. And this is the type of thing that we see happen all the time. You know, we see people struggling, you know, for the simple necessities of life. And yet here we have a government building a boardwalk in one of the richest neighborhoods in Cayman when we can't even get a yellow flashing light by the pedestrian on Eastern Avenue. So, you know, it is one of those things that's going to create a serious social unrest in our country because the blatant and obvious, you know, attempts to accommodate for the wealthy in our country and those individuals who are reaping the benefits of the economic success of Cayman, while the average person in Cayman has to just sit back on the sidelines and observe all of this trampling of the small man and expect us to sit down and not say anything or do anything is naive. I can assure you that. And I don't want to advocate anything other than, you know, trying to create the proper platforms to enhance awareness so people can get out there to actually exercise their democratic right for referendum and for many other things that is happening in the Cayman Islands that creating certain hindrances to small people.
Do you recall what the sort of initial expected budgeted cost was going to be for the boardwalk?
Well, I don't think, and I can assure you that if there was a number that was put out there prior to the commencement of the boardwalk, I and a lot of the people like me would have been aware of it. I wasn't aware of any expected cost for the boardwalk. I never saw it. But the reality is, whether the expected cost was 100,000, 200,000, 10 million, whatever the case is, we need to ensure that whenever the government embarks on ridiculous spending or ridiculous projects that we don't really need, and then if we're going to embark on these things with an open checkbook and say, oh, well, just build it, we don't care what it costs, you know, that's where we need to draw the line, because nobody and their grandfather can't tell me that boardwalk that I see in South Sound cost $1.3 million CI, $100,000 at best. And they can't come in with no excuse about the terrain and the adversity of the land and all that other foolishness, because we built roads along that for many years, and the roads sustained. Okay, the asphalt roads sustained. Even during Hurricane Ivan, some of the roads got eaten away. Yes, but that was because there were no retainer walls to protect it. So you telling me that we just spent $1.3 million on a boardwalk for the South Sound community, which I know a lot of the residents there personally that didn't really care. They didn't really care for that boardwalk. So, you know, I ask the question all the time: is who is monitoring capital projects that the government embark on? And we would have to assume that it would be, you know, the PAC committee or some governing body that say, okay, here's an idea and here's what we're going to spend on it, and somebody has to approve it.
But that's only after the fact, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who in the world sat around a table and agreed that we're going to spend $1.5 million on a boardwalk in South Sound for people to walk on and nail shoes to a tree? This is what I don't understand. When we got people out there eating out the garbage, we got people that are suffering from education. We got the government who's canceled the scholarship funds, and this is what we're going to do: build a boardwalk for rich people to walk on.
But what do we do now? I mean, is there, even, you mentioned the tree, right? Even the outcry from some quarters about the tree, not just the potential that the tree itself through the root system could have, you know, for the coastline, for the boardwalk itself, but the unsightliness of the tree. It's almost become a shrine in some respects, but then so in others.
Well, the thing is that, you know, I'm not going to cast my opinion either way on whether we should nail shoes to a tree, because it don't cost nothing to nail a shoe to the tree. You understand? If you go there in South Sound and you look at this boardwalk, there are 8 to 9 foot gaps in between each piece of slab. Now tell me, what kind of boardwalk is this? Where you got to step down on the dirt to climb back up on the boardwalk?
I will admit, when I did see that, I was a bit concerned too, and I wasn't sure why there was that gap. So I'm glad to know that I wasn't the only one who had some concerns there. And I will be honest, Mr. Rankin, I'm going to make you continue there. I had no idea that this was a government-funded project. This is actually really new to me.
Okay. Yeah, but it's go ahead, sir.
I just want to finish what I'm saying because I don't know when I'm going to get cut off with this call.
No.
But anyway, all I want to say, and I agree with Javi, it just seems to me like there's more money to be spent because it has to be something that's going to fill those gaps in between those walkways. And if my memory serves me right, I remember driving through there a couple of weeks ago before I left the island. I saw a sign in between one of them that said lookout tower or guard tower or something of the sort. So I'm wondering now if they're going to have guard towers built in between them. I'm just assuming. I don't know for sure, but I did see a sign in between one of them that said that. So that tells me that we're going to be spending more money. Because I never seen a guard tower somewhere and for free. So it's going to cost us money anyway. The bottom line it boils down to this: 1, did we need a boardwalk in South Sound? 2, why the government felt the need to spend their money, let me rephrase that, to spend our money to build this boardwalk, and 3, why is it that we're not getting value for money? Because I can tell you right now, we can go out and get a quote from 1 million different small contractors in our island. I don't know why we hired Phoenix to do it in the first place. We got a lot of capable small contractors who could have certainly used that fund in order to generate enough wealth for themselves. But no, we choose to give it to the big conglomerate simply because that's how the game of politics is played. There's somewhere along the line, some politician owed Phoenix some favor, and that is the payoff, in my personal opinion. That's my personal opinion. Because no way in the world that we can go out right now and take and put out and submit, and I didn't even see an RFP for this thing, first of all, because anything over $250,000 should have been put out for an RFP. So I didn't see the RFP. Maybe there was. I could be wrong. But in any event, how is it that we could sit around a round table and agree to spend $1.3 million on a boardwalk that we don't need and certainly don't benefit the lower class people in the Cayman Islands? And then we must accept this, be quiet, and take the word of the government and the people who charge us this and don't have nothing to say about it. I don't know what they expect from the small people in the Cayman Islands. We're losing our homes. We're losing our jobs. We can't feed our children. We can't get them proper education. So we must just be quiet and drive across all the gated communities that our very same economy provided for those people. And we must be quiet about it. Let me tell you something. The new color of revolution is pink. They never see it coming. Believe me when I tell you, and I'll leave you there. You guys have a good one.
You too, man. Talk to you very soon again. Jeff, I want to maybe continue that. Invite others to join the discussion. If it's a democracy and it's going to be healthy, it needs to have the contribution unfettered by our people. So we want you to call and share your thoughts. 8949-8037 or toll free at 1-800-534-8255. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities, built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials, are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's new kitchen and bath center.
Nursing, education, social work, media studies, hospitality, electrical, plumbing, AC. Wow, I didn't even know that the University College of the Cayman Islands offered all that.
Yes, all that and more, as well as event management and QuickBooks. They also did customized training for our staff last month. Hey, didn't your son just graduate from high school? Take him so he can apply for the fall semester.
Pursue your academic and professional goals at UCCI. Admissions are ongoing. Classes start August 27th. Visit them or call 623-8224 to learn more.
Under the distinguished patronage of the Jamaican Consulate, Crystal Promotion presents Jamaica's 56th Independence Celebration in the form of fruits and culture. Saturday, August 4th at Lion Center. Performing live, former member of the I3s, Marsha Griffiths.
I shall sing.
Glenn Washington.
Let's rise and shine and give Jah the glory.
Professor Nuts. Anthony Malvo. Andrew Priest and MC Linkage from Linkage Radio, New York City. Gates open 6 p.m., showtime 7 p.m. Admission 25 pre-sale, 30 at the gate. It's Roots and Culture, Saturday, August 4th at Lion Center. Celebrating Jamaica's 56th year of independence. Sponsored by J. and Money, Radio Cayman and Hot 4.1 FM.
I see the fire spreading. It's getting hotter and hot.
Super Jam Showdown.
Gospel music has gone too far.
Positive Monday. Population Tuesday.
Hey, now, baby.
Latino Heat Wednesday to Thursday. Back the hands of time.
Supersonic.
Gay Friday Brack Party Block Top 10 Count to Female Friday.
Radio Cayman Super Jam Showdown. Weekdays 3 to 6. Brought to you by
Leap Diversify.
At Leap Diversify, they are dedicated to your educational pursuits. Visit www.leapdiversify.com.
Leap Diversify. They don't succeed unless you succeed.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. It's open line 949-8037 or 1-800-534-80. I wrote 80. So 949-8037 or 1-800-534-TALK. It's somewhere, Jeff. I don't know what you said yesterday. You wasn't sure whether it was
I'm not sure. It's like, because I know what time the show starts. That's the only reason I have a foggy idea of what time it is.
Yeah. The caller prior, I'll commend him for always, one, trying to get us informed, at least being cognizant of what is in the public domain, and two, and more importantly, willing to share a view, with as much conviction and passion as he has. The boardwalk, for instance, the amount of people, whether they live or go through South Sound, who have, just with me, who shared their opinion. I thought, but if this is a level of question, wouldn't go as far as, say, opposition. There was a few who were definitely vehemently opposed to it, but who had some question about, well, is it the best spend of money? Is it the way they're doing it, the best way to do it? Would it affect people's ability to run, walk, or cycle along South Sound? Could something else have been better? But yet, nobody wants it, or very few people want to say anything publicly.
I didn't say anything publicly, even when I was on a previous show, because honestly, at the time, to me, it really wasn't that important. At the time when I heard about it, the first thing was I thought, well, I used to work along that stretch with a local company that was there. Sometimes I would go by that nearest dock and I would have breakfast. So I know what it's like to walk along that stretch. And at first I was happy with the concept of having a safe boardwalk to walk on, because I didn't like walking on the road. But it starts to become a little concerning when we're talking about $1.3 million, and the fact that the government spent $1.3 million, I was reading a news article where the premier was quoted as saying it was a beautification project. If it's a beautification project, that means it was budgeted as a beautification project, and that means that if it was budgeted, it was reviewed and it was passed in the budget. So to me, I'm not surprised that they spent $1.3 million. I'm just more concerned as why it took so long for the general public to find out it was $1.3 million. Because the average Joe, the average citizen, is not going to go and pick up a copy of the 4,000-page budget to go and look for the cost of a boardwalk. So in that respect, I think the government could have been a little bit more timely. in revealing how much it costed. I'm scared to comment on the cost of the boardwalk because I think it's a lot, but at the same time, I'm not in that area to comment to say whether something is worth the money or not. But just as an average citizen, I hear 1.3 and I look and I'm wondering, well, is this really worth 1.3? Like if you go to Foster's and you buy a bag of grapes, you look at the price and you look at the amount of grapes and you're like, am I okay getting this amount of grapes for this amount of money?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing, except we're now looking at it from a countrywide scale. So I have some concerns about it, and I think people should voice it. But people, in my experience from working in the news, people are scared to voice their opinion because any person who even so much as raises concern sometimes is thrown the bad light because then they're seen as the troublemaker. Mm-hmm. But it shouldn't always be viewed as the troublemaker. It should be viewed as people trying to keep the government accountable. And so from working in news, I know what it's like to go and do interviews and people don't want to give you their opinion, because they don't want to be associated government or opposition or they're afraid of what that repercussions may have, and so I don't know how to get people to give their opinion.
You're sharing that, right? And relatively speaking, relatively new to sort of the media, not new to the society, not new to having an opinion, not new to willing to share that. But there are people who have said, it's been that way forever and it's getting worse as the years roll on. So that level of intimidation and victimization that people fear, that people talk about, that can't be good for a society if we're going to be open, accountable, transparent, democratic.
I think it's just one of the things that comes with having a small society. Because you look at America, yes, you do have political victimization, but it's a lot different because majority of the United States citizens will never ever meet the president, unlike here in the Cayman Islands where we know all of the elected representatives, and once you know everybody and you run into them in common areas, the supermarket, even the bar, the church, wherever it is, it's easier to hold them accountable, or it's easier to have a personal relationship of some sort with an elected official. And so
you may feel less willing to challenge them too because of that.
Right, because there's no citizen and professionalism boundary.
Right.
It's always going to be, well, yeah, he's an elected official, but he also my cousin, he also my friend, he also...
there's all the relationships.
Right.
Yeah. And the caller before, as he shared, the questions that he asked, will there be more money spent on these other things? Is this the total cost, or are there other expenditures to be had?
Well, like I said, the news report that I read quoted, I believe it is the Honorable Premier as calling it a part of a beautification project. I remember hearing beautification project, I think 1 or 2 years ago. And so I think the idea of the government spending money for beautification has been around, but I do share the concern if that's where the beautification needs to be, because the South Sound stretch have homes that are worth millions of dollars. And I think if it was me, and this is not a criticism of the government, this is just my personal opinion, if I was, say, somebody who was deciding where to do some beautification, I would pick somewhere in the community where people are saying the area's starting to look bad. We need some help. But I wouldn't pick a piece of land that is right the sea that has $1 million houses on either side, And so with that, I share the concern with the call, and I would like to hear. I honestly would. This is not me calling out, but I would like to hear some sort of explanation, from the government as to, well, why here? Why that particular stretch? What about, Queens Highway in East End, Walker's Road, if this is a part of a beautification project and this is part one, and this is 1.3 million, then I want to know what are the other beautification plans and how much do they cost?
Right, and where will they be, when will they be started?
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like you're sharing in the callers, other questions as well. Is this the best use of the money at this time? Are there other areas?
I don't like asking that question.
Okay.
I don't like asking the question, is it the right use of money? And I'll tell you why. Like when I was on yesterday, I said, I don't believe that anyone's intention, no one goes out of their way to be intentionally mean, intentionally hurtful. But I just believe there are different priorities, and different people align themselves with different priorities. For example, when you came talking about the boardwalk, the caller was very, very passionate about it. But then you had me, who it wasn't no big deal, And I think that's the problem when you ask that question is you look at who's in charge and you have to see where they naturally put or prioritize something.
Well, what is important to
them?
Someone is
because what is you might think you might be similar to somebody, but you can be very different. I live in a household and I share a residence with my parents. Even though they're my parents, we are very different in the way we think, the way we speak, and what is important to us. And I think that's the biggest problem with asking the question: is this the right use of the money? Because one person might say, "Yeah, this is the right use of the money." Right. Because I want this area to look good when I ride my bicycle. But somebody might say, no, this is not the right area to use the money because somewhere else in Georgetown needs a little beautification upgrade.
Priorities, huh? All right, let's pause. Take this quick break. When we come back, we want to take your calls, 949-8037. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
South Coast Bar and Grill up in Breakers, man, that is the place. For traditional Cayman cuisine, oh, you will love the taste. At South Coast Bar and Grill, we got conch and lobster and turtle stew. And every Sunday, come out with your family for the barbecue.
Enjoy dining by the sea in the relaxed, tranquil atmosphere with local food specials every day and karaoke every Saturday night with Cayman Elvis.
For Cayman and cuisine, the talk today is South Coast Bar and Grill.
Nursing, education, social work, media studies, hospitality, electrical, plumbing, AC. Wow, I didn't even know that the University College of the Cayman Islands offered all that.
Yes, all that and more, as well as event management and QuickBooks. They also did customized training for our staff last month. Hey, didn't your son just graduate from high school? Take him so he can apply for the fall semester.
Pursue your academic and professional goals at UCCI. Admissions are ongoing. Classes start August 27th. Visit them or call 623-8224 to learn more.
Is this thing working? Give me some sound over here.
Every Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. Radio Cayman Super Jam Show, the #1 drive time entertainment show for your radio, featuring Will Sinatra.
Now, sound is everything.
Enjoy a mix of pop, hip-hop, reggae, and calypso, and an entertainment trivia section. The Super Jam Show is fueled by the proud sponsorship of the Cayman Islands Football Association. CIFA, building a better future for Cayman football.
Have you just completed a weekend cleanup project? Do you plan to dispose of old appliances, electronics, or even hazardous waste? Dispose of these items at the 24-hour drop-off site located at the entrance of the Georgetown landfill. This site is open to the public daily for your convenience. Do your part. Keep Cayman clean. For more tips on proper waste handling, visit the DEH website at www.deh.gov.ky.
Hi, this is your reigning queen, Miss Cayman Islands Universe 2017, Anika Connolly. Join me on Saturday, 11th of August at the Westin Resort and Spa to find out which one of the 7 beautiful contestants will take over my crown. I'm excited to announce that pageant tickets are now on sale at Sand Angels in Camana Bay and Funky Tangs in Georgetown.
Come out on August 11th at the Westin to support us for
the Miss Cayman Islands Universe pageant. There will be a cocktail reception at 6 p.m. and the show starts at 7 p.m. sharp. Lights, camera, glitz. We hope to see you there.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. Just before we go back to our calls, look at our WhatsApps, just a quick reminder from the RCIPS. There's an accident on Bordentown Road involving, what they call it, a truck and a motor vehicle. I think it's a dump truck. They say nobody, seriously injured in the accident, but traffic will take some time before the road is cleared. So in the vicinity of Anton and Borden Road, it's currently blocked in both directions. So RCIPS diverting onto the Anton and Borden Road. So hopefully, people are okay, and not only they get the roads open, but everybody is okay. Maybe with great respect, not to say that it wasn't in this case, but just pay a little more attention, be a little more careful.
Right.
Before we read the WhatsApp, let's take our call, Jevy.
Let's do it.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, thanks for myself. When I saw the announcement about the boardwalk in the paper, I went to planning and asked to see the plans. And they said, oh, you have to go to Public Works to see those. It's a Public Works project. So I went, and they were a bit hairy about giving me any information, but I insisted. And they gave me a copy of the plan. And they told me the ministry who was putting this thing up. And I looked at the block and parcel number, and I saw that their private extension of the lots of the condominiums being built across the street of private property. So actually, I queried, I said, are you building on government road? Are you building on government?
You there, caller? Okay. Just seem to, maybe the connection there. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, yeah. So your last thing I heard you ask was, when you're speaking to the private owners across the street, are you building on government road?
On government road, and they said, no, this is private property. And I looked up the registers, and indeed it is extension of the lot from across the street. So they gave me a plan, and they explained the gaps that I heard somebody speaking to about just now. The gaps are right of way to the beach. So if you want to, you don't have to go down to the dock to get to the beach. Those gaps that somebody was talking about are access to the beach.
I mean, I get it. I get why that would be a reason for the gap, but who's going? Bro, let's go to the beach. Where we going? We going along the South Sound stretch. Nobody not going swimming there. Nobody not going go through all that seaweed. Listen, on the West Bay Road, when they have private property and they need to have beach access, you can have a beach access, or if you have two pieces of property, you can combine your beach accesses and have one bigger beach access. If that is the argument that it's for beach access, I think it would have been wiser to have a wider beach access at any opposite end of the actual boardwalk, as opposed to having a couple feet opening in between the actual boardwalk. Because I was in Barbados a couple months ago, and there was a boardwalk along the beach right across from the hotel where we were staying, and the boardwalk was amazing. It had two beach accesses on opposite ends, and all the private residences or businesses that were in front of the boardwalk still had access to the boardwalk. You could walk from one business, but it wasn't these huge cuts in the boardwalk, because I remember when I first heard about this and we first had this discussion at another forum, it was saying, well, it's to make it safer for cyclists and for people who are walking. But like the caller before this one said, you have those gaps. It doesn't make it easier, to use the boardwalk or to cycle. It makes it more difficult, which means now the cyclists, because of those gaps, will have to go to the opposite side of the road, or they'll have to struggle to,
But it's probably for cyclists. Caller, you're still there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. As you were saying?
Yes, and I think a lot lot of searching and researching, and I submitted on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Even of that one, a minister, we just thought it was, I was of the understanding it was under the Honorable Juliana O'Connor minister, and she straightened that out for me and said, no, it's still you.
Yeah,
the
CPI ministry.
It's that he's looking after it. I have a forgot to speak of that, but
all right, we're losing you. Out of the connection. Let's see if Miss Susan can work her magic on that. This could be, maybe the speaker or otherwise, but as our call is reconnected or dealt somehow. But a boardwalk, it's not for cyclists, is it? It's just for people to walk on.
No, I mean, most boardwalks, most boardwalks that I've experienced, both cyclists and pedestrians can use it. When I was in California, along the beach as well, they had a boardwalk, and both cyclists and pedestrians used it. But in my opinion, and from anybody who's ever ridden a bicycle before, that boardwalk not really cycle friendly.
Yeah, but I was of the view that this was specifically for pedestrians, and cyclists were excluded. All right. So we got another caller as well, and we got Jev in the studio. So let's see where we can go once Miss Susan said, yay. All right, hello. Welcome back.
Hello.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Not too bad. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon,
Let me just
sir.
throw in my 2 cents real quick here. Number one, that's not for cycling. First of all, A, it's too short, B, it's too high, which takes me on to my next point. You'll notice that 99.99% of the sidewalks along the road are usually between 4 and 6 inches above the road surface.
Mm-hmm.
The reason for that is obviously, one, it creates a clear demarcation between the road surface and sidewalk. But also, two, it doesn't exceed that height, or it should not exceed that height, because, as in the building codes, they have a predetermined maximum height and minimum height you can have. And so, for example, with that boardwalk, if someone walking along the side of it isn't exactly paying attention, on a regular height sidewalk, they might step off the edge and have a slight stumble. Possibility they can have a big stumble, but more than likely they'll have a small stumble because it's a short distance or short height or dimension between the slab and the road. In this particular case, you got somewhere around 12 inches, if not more. Anybody steps off that by accident, they're stumbling right out onto the road. So unless they plan on elevating the level of that road, that in itself is a hazard. And I am still here scratching my head, being in the construction industry, trying to figure out where $1.3 million went.
If you don't mind me asking, because you just said you're in the construction area, just as a rough guesstimate, what would you say a project of that nature may run? Rough estimate.
There's too many variables, right? I'm not saying that it didn't cost $1.3 million to build based on the way it was designed, right? So what people don't realize is that there's details are in the foundations, et cetera, et cetera. And from what I saw, they actually drilled piles. So effectively, a hurricane like Ivan could come along and totally underwash that boardwalk and blow out the timber decking that's on there, and the frame will stay in place. And all you have to do is put up the timber decking. Overkill in my view, but that's as I saw it. I never had a chance to peruse the plan. So it's what I'm saying is that you, in my opinion, cannot justify $1.3 million for that little stretch.
From your perspective now, right? You're in the business. Just roughly, if you were, ballparking, what do you think it would be?
I'm not even going to venture a guess there, because I'm in the business in terms of the design, not in terms of the construction cost. So in terms of the new, and then again with the detailing, I can tell you that if we do a sidewalk, I think I heard Mario saying about $100,000. I think you're talking about a few $100,000 for doing something that's going to be resilient to it. What my point being is that boardwalk doesn't even protect the road surface in the event of another storm. We will still have the erosion. We'll still have to replace all the utility services that are run underground there, water, etc., what have you, and we'll have to build back the road in that portion. But for the life of me, there's no continuation of that boardwalk, and if it's continued on, I think it's at the discretion of the landowners that are along that shoreline.
So that land there is private to your knowledge?
I don't know. What I'm saying to you is the rest of the land going east is.
Right.
I can tell you, obviously, the rest of the land going west is.
Okay.
So I don't even know whether or not the land that was built on was it handed over by the previous owners, because I know it was private at one time. I don't know if it still is. But the point being is just there's a boardwalk in the middle of nowhere going to nowhere, and so to say that it's for the safety of the walkers and the people who walk up and down there, that would hold water if it started at the beginning of South Sound and ended at the South.
So
but
it continues.
That 1,000 feet of it makes it safer. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. And feel free to weigh in with us. Thank you for your thoughts, sir. And with respect, I love to hear my callers, but I got to pay attention to Miss Susan. Let's pause and take a break. Go to our news. When we come back, call and share your thoughts. Please stay tuned.
Radio Cayman. Radio Cayman's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
With your latest headlines, I'm April Cummings. Police say Bodentown Road in the vicinity of Anton Bodden Road is currently blocked in both directions because of a serious accident involving a truck and a motor vehicle. No one was seriously hurt in the incident, but police believe it will take some time before the road can be cleared for traffic. Right now, traffic is being diverted onto Anton Bodden Road. In international headlines, at a Senate Judiciary hearing, Illinois Democrat Dick Durbin said Homeland Security Kirstjen Nielsen should resign over the separation of migrant children from families. He says it was on her watch and under her leadership that nearly 2,700 children were separated from their families, with more than 700 still not reunited. Fire officials in Northern California say firefighters are making some gains against twin wildfires threatening nearly 10,000 homes. Crews were able to slow the spread of one of the fires, directing it away from one of the more populated areas. The two fires straddling Mendocino and Lake counties have already burned 7 homes along 166 square miles of rural land. The Islamic State group today claimed responsibility for a car and knife attack on Western tourists cycling in Tajikistan. It killed 2 Americans and 2 Europeans. On Sunday, a car rammed into the group of foreign cyclists. The driver and the passengers got out, attacked the tourists with knives, leaving 4 dead and 3 injured. Those are your headlines. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, I'm April Cummings.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands. What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. It's open line. We've got Jevaughnie Ebanks sitting with us, and not only is he informing, but he's inspiring. So hopefully you'll be encouraged to share your thoughts with us. 949-8037, 949-6990. Jevy, here's a few quick comments from our WhatsApp. Says probably approximate cost about $200 per square foot to build a high-end house. That's with everything. Here's a boardwalk, no roof, no tiles, nothing. Costing $1.3 million.
Mm-hmm.
Some says that the sections of the boardwalk probably like 30 feet long, 2 feet deep, right? How practical is that? Someone asks if it's on private land, like the last caller alluded, then we just built the boardwalk for the rich because it's their land, not ours. Why is
which, by the way, let's just say would be all kinds of concerning if there was private property and the government built a $1.3 million boardwalk, because you have to remember with private property, you don't have a right to be there. You know, the person can ask you to leave. You know, and I don't think that would change if the government put a boardwalk on it.
All right. Let's pick up this other caller. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon. How are you today?
Good, and good afternoon to your, what do you call him, your co-host?
Why I call him is, my blessing.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
He's
yeah,
here.
he's good, man. He's a cool cat. He knows what he's doing.
Thank you.
Well, good at the radio. Cool.
Thank you.
I wish him all the best in his endeavors whenever he's traveled and to come here and come back to Cayman and make
There you
us
go.
extra proud.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. This little gentleman just called there in regards to the boardwalk up itself down. 1 million sterling?
1.3. That's what's been reported thus far. CI dollars.
You can't sleep on it, and you can't walk too long on it. Ain't that something?
Yeah,
and I thought I heard the premise that land was being the part that land was going to be leased to get that boardwalk down to the length that it is. And I thought that when they built the boardwalk, it was going to be that the water was going to wash under and, roll under and go back out and so forth and so forth. But from what I keep seeing when I'm crossing, I haven't gone complete look at it, but it's from the road look. That's that $1.3 million. Oh, that could help a lot of poor people in the Cayman Islands. Believe me. Sterling, I want to ask if the 2 Cubans that we got out here, they're waiting for asylum. Is they being housed by government and taken care of by government financially still?
That was my impression, but
Yes. To my understanding, that's what it is.
That's what it is?
To my understanding, I don't think there has been an official report, but and I think it's reasonable to assume that is what is happening.
Government is housing them. Government is feeding them. Do anybody know they have a job, or they just sitting here waiting for something on this asylum?
I don't think asylum seekers are legally allowed to obtain employment in a place where they're somewhat illegal. The only reason that they're not illegal is because they're seeking asylum.
But Javi, if I'm calling your name right,
That's fine, yeah.
no disrespect to them. Everybody looks for a better life everywhere they go. But you know what hurts me to the core to know that I got my kid magnets here. Well, hurting left, right, and center. Need food, water, and losing their homes and can't get no jobs. And we are here trying to help the rest of the world, and we can't help our own people. That is not right. It's not fair to the people of this island who helped build this island. I want to stick a pin there, and you all can elaborate on it when I hang up. Sterling, I want to talk about the B&B, Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
They advertise that big time through tourism. Tourism is excited because tourism have reached 1.3 something million people, and it's looking good, and all that is good. But Sterling, where is the money coming over here in the island for the people of the island? How are the people that living here? How are they benefiting from all this tourism that we so excited about every quarterly or every year? They're talking about the B&B. Sterling, I went to West Bay about 2 months now, trying to find a B&B. I was down there for over 2 hours trying to find this place. And then when we finally called the guy, he worked at the restaurant. He got telling me that I was bringing the guy back to the hotel, and he'll bring him to the hotel and he'll take him home. I asked him, I said, who's going to pay me to bring him back to the hotel to yourself? I'm in the depot restaurant trying to find your address that you gave him. I saw one taxi friend down there, and that's who helped lead me to where I had to go. And when I got down there, Sterling, Javi, the fence was taller than the house that was being used to B&B. $40 a night. They can access to do B&B on this island full of restrictions. But when people are doing rentals and people mash up their rental places, we have no law here that we can go to and say that Tom Jones and Mary Alice mash up my apartment. I need you. We need to put these people in court, or we need to make them to my property. I don't know if we have any law here, but from what I gathered, if there's any law for rental here, it's not being implemented properly. And those people that are here trying to do B&B, they got to go through all kind of red tape before they can bring someone into their private homes. I'm not hearing them saying anything about putting B&B in residential areas and don't know who next door has a dog that can come out and attack those people while they're out trying to walk from one point of the street to the next. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
I got one more and I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
Borden Town is the first capital. I heard Mr. Chris had something on Facebook about a couple of days ago. What are they going to do for what are they going to do up there? All sound good and well. But Sterling, to think of all of the governments that we have had, and Borden Town is the first capital. I cannot believe that nobody is trying to enhance Borden Town when you got to drive through there to get to north side and east end and breakers in that fire situation. Nothing is being done. Not even throwing some paint on the walls. Nothing to beautify the area. If they want to keep the buildings as is, heat them up. Put some plants down. Borden Town is a sore eye before Hurricane Ivan, and it's still a sore eye, and the politicians are not doing anything. I take my hat off to Mr. Chris for his letter here on Facebook. It all sounds good and well. I'm looking for change. For change.
Okay. Well, thanks very much, Ron. Jeff, we've got a couple of calls. Let's talk to them.
Calls, yeah.
Welcome, good afternoon. You're on Talk Today.
Brother Sterling, how are you?
Blessed, my friend. How are you?
Okay, hanging in. What young man is he out there with you today?
Jevaughnie Ebanks, Jevaughnie Ebanks.
Oh, Mr. Jeff.
Yeah,
it sounds so big. It sounds so big, but anyhow, okay, good evening to you, Jerry.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, okay. Listen, Brother Sterling, I got an issue. I bring this issue up already. Let me tell you something about them boardwalk, this house. I remember you all doing know that this name. We had a man up there called Alveston Bush. When we wanted to get lobsters, we could go there in the evening and just tell him, and in the night he would go there and spare his lobsters. And this is a long time ago. This is many moons ago. And let me tell you something. I went across there yesterday and today, and I don't know how the planning authority could give these people, because they're not ordinary people, and I know they're not Caymanian. Maybe they got Caymanian partners to put up front. But then the Caymanian partners, I feel so sad for them too, knowing that they are Caymanians and knowing where we come from in the Cayman Islands, especially the area called South Sound. They're buildings on two sides of the street, but mostly on the beach area. From Cayman Crossing, go right down to the cemetery. I went there today and I stopped and I looked real good this morning. I think more than 6 stores, one of them buildings is. And the boardwalk, you know what I put it for? To make the price of their property value more, the people that building them buildings there, and to stop the poor Caymanians that used to go there for Easter, how their little camps there and spend the Easter weekend with their family. They didn't want that no more, so they wanted to stop the locals for doing that, and that is why they put the boardwalk there. But again, I repeated this on your show already, Mr. Sterling. It looked like these people that is doing this building is challenging God. I don't know if any of them that doing that building was here in Hurricane Ivan. And I am surprised at planning for giving them people permission, but it's knowing who you are, because remember the little song when you used to go to Sunday school, say, a foolish man built his house upon the sand. That not change, The foolish man built his house on the sand. So,
wow.
It looked like they're challenging God. But that's all them boardwalk they put down, and they're not built properly neither.
Wow.
If you want to be built properly, and they don't mind me, calling out their name, Peter Thompson and Stanley Hill. They don't mind me calling their name because we are builders. We are builders. We know what building is. And if them old people come back that used to build, all the arches and all of them, all of these companies had to be out of job. They could never get a job because they wasn't up the standard. But it's all who know who. That is why they're getting these permits done. So I feel sorry, but I go stand up and watch. You see them building, don't care how strong they put up. When God ready to come down, they're not going to strike, you know. Have a good evening. God bless on her.
Amen. Blessings, man.
Thank you.
Can we take one more call quickly, Ms. Susan? Go to the phone. Say good afternoon and welcome. You want to talk today?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
I'm going to change the topic just a little bit, and I won't be very long. Just that yesterday, I went to pick up my family, some family members from the airport, and I witnessed a near accident right by the pedestrian crossing again. There was someone that was leaving the airport and going towards the long-term parking, or maybe towards the rental agency there. I'm not sure, but that he missed getting hit down in just a few seconds. And the funniest thing about it, I do not think the taxi driver realized what happened. So I just think that I'm just putting it out there, so maybe perhaps someone is listening that can do something about it. Because honestly, I remember when I first parked my car in the long term parking, when I was going back there, you kind of don't know or realize that you're actually entering the road. So you can easily, if you're in a rush or you know the motive sometimes people are in when they're traveling, or for whatever reason, you can easily not realize that you're actually leaving that secure area and passing over the road to go into the parking lot. Because it's as if sometimes they just come in that they're one, but they're not. There is a road in between.
Right.
And you can easily get confused. So I was just thinking if there is something that can be put up, a bar, something that someone who have to consciously aware that they're actually pulling up the bar and stepping into an area that they need to be more careful.
Right. Do you know if, and the question that was being asked, if there are any sort of those flashing lights near that pedestrian crossing you're talking about?
I don't recall seeing any.
We don't think so, but
to my knowledge, there's none there.
Yeah, there's just a sign there. But, so it needs to be something, just an ordinary sign there. But there need to be, it's one of the bright color ones too, but I don't think that makes much of a difference to somebody who's coming, leaving the airport, walking across, not being conscious that the road actually ends. That, that you're not walking no longer in a secure area. You just need to put something up there that can bring the person's attention quickly.
Interesting point, and I agree with you, dear. And I think I know we got to take a break, but we can definitely touch that when we get back.
All right. Hey, thanks very much, Mal.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right, have a good afternoon. We'll pick that up definitely in some other points here on our WhatsApp. But we ask you to call 949-8037. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
King Sports Center's Art of Fun Summer Camp is back from July 3rd to August 3rd. Now in its 14th year, the Art of Fun Camp is ideal for kids aged 5 through 10 with activities from football, basketball, dodgeball, squash, rock climbing, arts and crafts, dance, singing, and more. Your child can stay cool while having fun in a safe and secure environment. For more info, email kings.brebanks@gmail.com. That's kings.brebanks@gmail.com. Or call 946-KING, like King's Sports Center on Facebook, and you can also find them on Instagram, or call 946-5464. King's Sports Center, providing you with all your fitness, recreation, and relaxation needs.
It's hard. Being a parent is demanding, not to mention trying to keep a roof over our heads and food on the table. I needed help, and the Ministry of Education was able to provide it for my child to attend preschool. From one parent to another, if you need the financial help, submit your application today to find out if you qualify for preschool funding assistance.
If you have a child who is 3 years old but not yet 4 by September the 1st, you may be eligible to receive funding. Application forms can be collected from the Government Administration Building, the Department of Education Services, all early childhood centers, and may be found on the Ministry of Education's website at www.education.gov.ky. If you need more information about this government assistance program, please do email ecap@gov.ky. That's ECAP@gov.ky. Or call 244-5724.
South Coast Bar and Grill up in Breakers, man, that is the place. For traditional Cayman cuisine, oh, you will love the taste. At South Coast Bar and Grill, we got conch and lobster and turtle stew. And every Sunday, come out with your family for the barbecue.
Enjoy dining by the sea in the relaxed, tranquil atmosphere with local food specials every day and karaoke every Saturday night with Cayman Elvis.
For Cayman and cuisine, the talk today is South Coast Bar and Grill.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today, 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. Jeff, we're looking at a couple of WhatsApps. In the studio, Jevaughnie Ebanks joins us. And before I get to the end, though, the last caller, any callers, any points, any thoughts you want us to continue on, Jeff, before we throw you off base, man?
No, man. Let's hear what other people have to say, because we have a lot of topics that we can definitely touch.
Yeah, man.
Let's hear what the public has to say.
Let's read what they wrote. There's a voice note there as well, so I think Miss Susan will pick that up at some point. Let me see. It says, is the one, in relation to the boardwalk, is the 1.3 million the final cost because it still needs more landscaping and safety railing? What kind of value does the boardwalk add to the property around it? Right? This person says, so Jevaughnie, I'm aware, my brother, that you are soon going off on special studies, but a dear Caymanian friend is going to ask you to see if you can fit political science somewhere in there. Listen here in our terms. We need you to come back and help run things.
That's a prank, right?
Hey, I mean, Elliot, follow my drift, man. That says, good day, Sterling. I have watched politicians for years on the island. I just have to say the only fighting politicians for the Cayman Islands come from two districts. That is West Bay and East End. All other districts are jokers. Recently, I must say, Kenneth Bryan has been doing an excellent job, but as far as I can see, West Bay politicians are the best. Oh.
I have no doubt that as a West Bayer, who's
I'm not even venture if that's a West Bayer.
Yeah, there's Caribbean pride, and then there's Cayman pride, but above all those prides, there's West Bay pride. Let me tell you, we unite in ways you have never seen anywhere else.
Strong sense of pride.
That's right. That West Bay and Cayman Brack, they'll let you know.
Almost one and the same, huh?
I wouldn't say that. You trying to get killed. It's okay.
Okay. Here's another. Says, why is the beautification a priority over education, social welfare, food, housing, and the like?
Okay. I really understand what that person mean when they write that. But I want to say to that person who wrote that, I have not looked at the entire budget. But I have looked at the broken down parts of it. And whilst to us, it may seem the beautification is the priority, on paper, which is the official records, education is still getting
the largest share.
I think the second largest share from the budget. So to me, it's not that education isn't being made a priority. It's that we're not seeing that priority because maybe that priority is different for us. Again, I want to stress that this is not a criticism of the government. That's just kind of how I see the way persons think, because I was very critical during the election season of monies spent for education. But I quickly, or I should say, I over time came to realize the money was there, but maybe the money wasn't going in the right place. But I don't think that subtracts from the money that was set aside for beautification. You know,
the boardwalk in particular.
Whether it's a boardwalk or beautification anywhere else, you know, we talking about two different lump sums of money. You know, just right now, beautification is the one being scrutinized. You know, you never know. Next week, government might release a policy that puts the education funding under scrutiny. Right. So I don't think that they're going out of the way to say make beautification a priority. Right. I just think that you have government policies, then which affect the budget. And then you have what us as a society see, and I think that's where we need to have a common ground where what we expect and the government policy is on par. Because I think that's the difference right now.
Okay, Jevaughnie Ebanks sits with us and lends his counsel, his commentary. Phone lines are open 949-8037. You can call and share your thoughts. There's a voice note somewhere, a call in the queue, of WhatsApp to read, no emails that I can read. A couple of interesting ones here, but so the voice note or the caller. Okay, let's hit the voice note.
Of course, Sterling, I must agree with your caller about the state that Bordentown is in. I've been complaining for years about the state of this district, and up to today, nothing is done. What I would like is for the TV to come and drive along Cumber Avenue. Look at the Cumber Park. All the trees that's been there, some from before I won, they're all been chopped up and just thrown down all over the park. All the roadside. To really, I could never tell you how this look. Somebody's got to come and take pictures because it really looks ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And I agree with that caller. And it doesn't matter. Nobody cares.
Wow. I appreciate the person, lending their opinion. I happen to live in the district of Bordentown. And I do think that beautification is important, but if I must be honest, beautification in Bordentown really not a priority in my mind. We have persons who live in Bordentown, West Bordentown, East, Newland, Savannah, because remember all those electoral districts make up Bordentown, who hungry, who don't have light, who don't have power. And so I feel we need to tailor the conversation about beautification and how we talking about beautification, because right now beautification is not even a concern for me in the grand scheme of things for people who live in Bordentown right now. I think that needs to come, but I think we just have to right now start with improving some living conditions. Right. But that's just me, and I appreciate the person for sending in that note.
Indeed. Well, let's go to our phones. Hey, good afternoon and welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Sterling.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
I am very thankful and highly blessed, and I'm just giving my fingers a rest. Do you hear me?
Yes.
I'm giving my fingers a rest because they're getting tired.
Right.
That means you've been busy, productive.
Yes, sir. Making plan orders and all that good stuff then.
Mm-hmm.
Getting US and CI all two.
Aye.
Nice.
Getting cash and checks all three.
I hear you.
Hello now.
Yes.
Mr. Jevaughnie.
Uh-huh.
I used to call it the other way, but I prefer Jerry.
All right. Nice.
It takes so much less energy.
Uh-huh.
Hello?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Okay. This is three Ebankses now, I know the third one.
Right.
And Jerry, I learned a few weeks back that you got roots in West Bay.
Yes, I do. My family is from West Bay.
Okay then. You got good roots, Bobo.
That's right.
Good roots. I like how you picked up West Bay just now.
Thank you.
And I am very proud to know that you are going away to better your education.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And your future.
Thank you.
And I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
And
that.
come back and work with Sterling.
All right. Thank you.
Maybe, wait a minute now. She said, come and work with me. The other one before say you need to be in politics. Wait a minute, you know. No, thank you very much, Mom.
No, listen good to this now. Listen good to this now. Sterling.
Yes, Mom.
Listen good to this now. He can be in politics and still come to you, you know.
Okay.
All
So
right?
he could be my regular guest then.
I can lead up to him. But listen, I can tell you this now, and I can be honest with my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like rooster.
Okay.
Here.
Uh-huh.
When I say I don't like it, I don't listen to it unless I'm in somebody's vehicle and they got it on.
Uh-huh.
Because Sterling can tell you, sometimes I have on 2 radios with Radio Cayman.
Yeah. Well, really appreciate you always, being so dedicated. Thank you so much. Right? Anything else you want to share with us?
I could go on and on and finish up this show with Anna. But I'm not bothered with that because my fingers getting a little rest now, and I got plenty of orders, you see. Hello?
Yes, but you make sure that you get your rest as well, okay?
Uh-huh. And look here, I go to lay some mornings or after 4 and after 5, but then I sleep through the day, which I don't normally sleep through the day.
Wow.
But today now, I go up and I'm working from a long time ago. Hello?
Yes. Indeed. What we doing on?
And then I can go to bed a little early tonight now then.
All right.
I mean, it's good to always have a plan, caller.
All right. Thank you very much, Mom. All right. Okay. And I bet that, sometimes, Susan says, I don't listen, and she shouts. No, she doesn't shout. We got to take another break, Mr. Jevy. That's okay?
All right. No worries.
You want to take us to the break? Wait, say? Go to the break?
Let's go to the break,
Let's go to the break. All right. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Babe, not tonight. I need to be rested for all-day meetings tomorrow.
What are you talking about? I was almost asleep.
You keep poking me, and I can't sleep.
That's the mattress spring I keep telling you about. Not me. We really need to get a new mattress.
Tossing and turning, back hurting, can't sleep? It might be time to turn in your old mattress and go to bed with a new one. Browse the huge mattress showroom at Brand Source Home Gallery and pick the perfect mattress today. With mattresses to suit every budget, Brand Source Home Gallery stocks a wide selection of sizes and styles like pillow top and gel memory foam. So stop tossing and turning and sleep better tonight with a new mattress from Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
There are times when you need to stand and fight, and times when it makes more sense to hunker down and ride it out. I'm Charles Whitaker, reminding you that you need to know where you are going to safely shelter before the storm strikes. For more information, visit caymanprepared.ky.
Nursing, education, social work, media studies, hospitality, electrical, plumbing, AC. Wow, I didn't even know that the University College of the Cayman Islands offered all that.
Yes, all that and more, as well as event management and QuickBooks. They also did customized training for our staff last month. Hey, didn't your son just graduate from high school? Take him so he can apply for the fall semester.
Pursue your academic and professional goals at UCCI. Admissions are ongoing. Classes start August 27th. Visit them or call 623-8224 to learn more.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today, and thanks for joining us in the studio. Jevaughnie Ebanks sits with us. I hope, at least to some extent, you're enjoying yourself with us.
Definitely, man. Definitely. It's always good to hear, what the public has to say, in stuff that affects us all.
Right.
Well,
I'll tell you one thing for sure. When we look at today, we certainly have been very much privileged and blessed to have your company and your input. And I say that hoping equally to encourage and inspire other Caymanians specifically, but all of us who call this place our home, to do what we can to make it better. Doesn't mean there's going to be a difference of opinion or even disagreements, but if the common objective is to make it better, safer, healthier, more prosperous, productive, sustainable. We know all these words. We just got to try to figure out now.
We just don't know how to implement it.
Is that a challenge?
I think that's what it is, because I don't think people are genuinely willing to make a compromise. I think when it comes to something cultural, economical, educational or relating to employment.
All right.
People want to win.
Okay.
You know?
Well, maybe it's a lack of compromise. I say sacrifice. Now, for those of you who are listening, you can call us 949-8037, 949-6990. There's a toll-free number that works for some, not for others. I said I'm respectful. I don't know why that is.
Mm-hmm.
We have a WhatsApp. You can type it and send it through. You can WhatsApp and record a voice note. 925-3261. These are the numbers you use for all of our shows.
Mm-hmm.
So tomorrow morning when you join Mr. Art Corner for the record, these are the numbers you will use. We have a voice note lined up for us.
Let's hear it.
I think lunch probably as well, I'm not sure. Let's go to the voice note though.
Good afternoon again. I'm Sterling and Jevy. I just wanted to WhatsApp a little clarity in terms of what I meant by priority. Number one, I agree with what Jevy said, obviously, in terms of the difference in priority for different items, but let me just make it very clear. I think that unless education is being attained on its highest level based on money is being spent, and if we're not allocating enough money, we should seek out where the fundamental issues are and allocate proper funding in order to attain the highest level of education. And until we have attained great social environment, education and food and housing for our people, that we should eliminate any spending on beautifications and all these other things that are less priority to the hard pressing things like housing, food, social environment, and education. So when I say prioritize, what I meant is that we should be able to look at our budget, right, and understand what we're allocating funds for, and ensure that the important things in that budget that the money is allocated for, that we're attaining the goal in which we seek out to attain. Resources, then why are we allocating $1.3 million for a small section of beautification on our island when our education, our housing, our social, our food, and these things are struggling? We need to put on high priority the social issues of our country to ensure, because that boardwalk and all the other beautification will only be enjoyed by those who visit and those who live in those areas. You understand? So what I meant is that we need to prioritize education, housing, social environment, food. These are the essentials of life. And if we're not attaining the stability on the highest level in those areas, then we need to cease allocating money and hold back funds for like beautification and things that are less priority than the four things I mentioned earlier. That's what I meant about prioritizing education over beautification. So the multifaceted budget that we have, the 4,000 or whatever pages, and the breakdown of all of the appropriations in that budget, we can find areas that we can take or not spend money on and direct it to the four things that are fundamentally changing the social environment of our country.
That's the voice note. So I invite you to share your thoughts on us as well as we go to our phones. Good afternoon and welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Sterling.
Welcome.
I'm calling back in regards to the lady that was talking about the pedestrian at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
She is so right that when you step off, you're practically thinking that you're still, in good walking safetyness at that point there. That's just that last pedestrian coming in. Sterling, we got cars coming in there all the time. Some is driving fast, some stop there and park and wait for the people to come from the arrival section. They do have flashing lights up there. Sometimes they're on, sometimes they're not. They do have a 50-mile zone up there. But nobody is respecting the airport entrance, because I just saw a couple of days ago where staff almost got killed up by the departure on the pedestrian. She was walking across, and the car, it was not a stop. It practically just brushed up on her, and then she did something. And that's when the car actually stopped to let her continue to walk across. So up at that airport, it is very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. I'll leave you at that. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And Jevy, another caller, man.
Let's do it.
Good afternoon. You're on Talk Today.
Yes, hi. Good afternoon, Mr. Ebanks. Good afternoon, Mr. Ebanks.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, mister.
I trust that both of you are having a good Tuesday afternoon.
That's right.
Amen. And you as well, I pray.
Yes, I am. Thank you very much. Mr. Orrit Connor will be very disappointed, as I am right now, because I called him about 2 weeks ago to say that I had applied for a position with the RCIPS, not to become a police officer, but to become a media liaison with disseminating information to the public. They responded to me, the Human Resource Department, to say that there are no vacancies at this time. They're not offering that, so you can get the job. That's how it goes sometimes. Mr. Jevaughnie, quite an experience when you're on the national radio station. It feels different, does it not?
It does. It does.
I can tell, even by your behavior and how you're presenting yourself, it's not like being on a teeny bopper radio station where you just drive talking and spinning music. So I think you're coming across very professional, and it's the whole surroundings of being on the official national station. All right.
But it's actually with Susan, see, that's what it is.
Your producer is very professional. She understands radio very well, and she's been doing it for close to 30 years. Not quite 30 yet. But
Don't age her like that. No, come on. Yeah. She only looking 30.
She's still young. She's still beautiful, and most importantly, she has a heart of love, and she does her job magnificently.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Why I've called to, you see, is under this watch, I think both ministers of the cabinet, the Honorable Juliana O'Connor Connolly and the Honorable Moses Kirkconnell, this could be their last term after serving their countries with great aplomb and with great dignity. Yes, because you have to understand, one is in his 16th year and the other is going on to their 24th or 25th year as serving this country.
Mm-hmm.
What I would like to see, though, and this is not just me talking off the top of my head, I do speak, and most importantly, I listen to what people seem to want. So Brackers in Brack East, Brackers and Little Caymanians are calling for the completion of the high school, also dubbed as Hotel Hilton. They want to see that, and now is the time, now that we have Minister O'Connor Connolly as Minister of Education and Minister of Sports, we are hoping to see the completion of that multi-million-dollar sports facility, Olympic-sized swimming pool, and the brand spanking new high school. We want to see that completed. And for the tourism minister, he can be very proud. I mean, we're up 20%. This is the most in our history we've seen tourists coming to the Cayman Islands, and we can even see it here in Cayman Brack. Hotels are filled, all that good stuff. But Minister Kirkconnell, if you're listening, and your staffers, the technocrats, under your watchful eye, sir, you have to do something about the Alexander Hotel and the timeshares of Divi Tiara. Unacceptable. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you very much for sharing, And Jerry, we have some very informed, involved people who are willing to share, for the most part.
And, it always makes me happy when people express themselves that way, because a lot of people don't. And that's the one thing that I wish we could get out of it. Do not be scared to express your opinion. You should be scared of how you express your opinion. It's like anything. I can say something insulting to Sterling, and it's insulting, but I could say something that is criticism, that he's been, okay, well, there's something I need to change, but not that he's going to feel offended, because the minute that you start to step on people's toes, that's when you have these differences and people don't want to work together. But I appreciate the caller for calling.
Yeah, I think oftentimes too, it's, what they say, it's not only, what you say, how you say it, it's also, who's saying it, but
when, where.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the person receiving this comment need, as best as possible, to be able to take it, analyze it, and if possible, find, like you share, something constructive in it.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's offensive or hurtful, it doesn't mean it's not true. Just because it's true doesn't mean it's not offensive either. Right?
That's right.
But until we as a people got to that point yet, where we're willing to, as constructively and as productively, make comments, do things that are going to make it better now, but importantly, for the long term as well.
I don't know if we can say that, or if there's a yes or no answer for that to like blanket across all three islands. But I think we are now seeing, because we have a coalition government, because the United States government seems or appears to be in disarray because the UK has Brexit negotiation. I feel we're starting to see a better level of being able to have difference of political opinions and still be able to work together. I think prior to having a coalition government, there was still that division of PPM UDP or PPM versus independent or UDP versus independent or whatever arrangement you want to have. But I think now that people have this coalition government, they feel almost obligated, I think is the word, to work together. And I think that sense of obligation has changed some perception. Definitely not all, but
just as students,
I think it's a start.
And as observers, and some would say even, sometimes participants in our society. Is this a case where, we often hear, politics make strange bedfellows?
Mm-hmm.
Is this a case that whether it's in the UK, where there's a coalition, whether it's here, where there's a coming together of factions, as it were, is it that out of necessity, or is it now out of a maturing political paradigm that they say, hey, we need to make this happen?
I think people feel it's out of necessity. I don't think it's, if I'm being honest, I don't think it's out of maturity. I really think, and I could very much well be wrong. I'm by way, no way qualified to make an assessment on
right.
how populations think or why populations do what they do. But just personally, that's what I feel the
but
reason
it's,
is.
Necessity is the mother of invention, right?
It is.
So as we move forward and we're seeing things unfolding, you talk to others who were in the political sphere way back when, and they'll tell you, it was a leader of government business. They'll say that the ministers or EXCO members, as they were called, depending on time, were responsible for their things. Now the landscape is that the Premier, the Constitution vests in the Premier power to hire and fire. The ministers, the loyalty is to the Premier. Whereas in the past, you could, through a vote of no confidence, for instance, we heard the Honourable Opposition Leader share that, go at one minister and say, hey, you're not performing, and have a vote of no confidence against that minister. Now it's against the whole government because it's in the Premier. Advancement. Progress,
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So I get that concern, but I think what stands out is no matter what side of the spectrum you're on, people are gonna feel the need to work together, and I don't think that that's gonna change at all, where you can individually go after a particular minister without going after the government. I think
that's a new.
I think this is just the way that it is now. That's not to say that it's better or it's worse.
Right.
That's just what it is right now. And I think what we've always done as a people is, if something is the way it is and we don't like it, we eventually change it. And I think if there's enough people who say, well, I don't like how this is, I think it can eventually change, but I don't think it will change. I don't think the majority of the people would opt to change. But I could very much well be wrong, though. I want to hear what people have to say.
Indeed. Well, as Susan shares, we'll pause, quickly take a break. When we come back, there'll be some open line. 2:00, get a chance to speak to our friends from the HSA about World Breastfeeding Week. So, Jevy, I almost want to make a joke, but
listen, man.
I don't agree.
The two of us have big enough breasts for this, all right?
When we come back, more open line. Stay tuned.
We are Radio Cayman, and this is how we wake you up in the morning. Praise time on Radio Cayman.
Sing your praise to the Lord. Come on, everybody, stand up and sing one more. Hallelujah, give your praise to the Lord. We are united in Jesus Christ. We are the soldiers of the Lamb.
Praise time.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
There's a meeting up in heaven. Roll call. It's a name in the Lamb's book of life. Roll call, brother, sister. Roll call. If you don't stop shouting, if you don't stop dancing, we're going to put you out of our church.
Praise time.
Jesus in the morning, yeah.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
Your song flowed through my lips. Your work moved through my hands. Your thoughts stay on my mind. Live in me.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
J and Money, in association with Roma United Sports Club, presents the official Jamaica Independence celebrations under the distinguished patronage of the Honorary Jamaica Council on Friday, August 3rd. The celebration will start with the Culture Day downtown on Cardinal Avenue from 7 a.m. until 3 p.m. Come out for breakfast and stay for lunch. Enjoy your favorite Jamaican dishes. Free drink with meal, free health checks, free PSA cancer screening, free food sampling, art and craft display, free lunch hour concert, plus lots of prizes and giveaways. Admission is absolutely free. Sponsored by Best Dressed Chicken, Grace, Nestle, Vitamalt, Popeyes, High Tech Electronics, Digicel, NCB Capital Market, Kmart, Intech, Hot 104, and Radio Cayman, of course, Breeze FM.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecast, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. Listen, we're in the studio with Jevaughnie Ebanks, and I talk about a man of many talents. Jevaughnie, you're in Cameron, man. Yeah, you forgot.
I keep forgetting that. I keep forgetting this is on TV.
He's rehearsing. For those of you who don't know, I think the feed is up there all the time. He was doing a little skit for me. Those of you know, you've seen him on stage many times, and you are truly, I have a gift in when it comes to media, man.
Thank you.
I'm glad that many have shared with me their sort of encouragement.
Right. No, I appreciate people saying it, man. It means a lot, because, then you have that backing, like, I want to make people proud. I want to, I want to do something for the country.
Definitely, man. And we want you to achieve, great heights, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate that a whole lot.
Just enjoy it. Please be safe. Your parents going to be obviously naturally
concerned.
But you're a big boy. You can take care of yourself. You're smart. You're mature.
Hey, somebody called me Dwayne the other day, and I'm like, he don't got this much hair. like you having a flashback from the 60s? What happening?
Yeah, my daughter said, well, he can imitate you good. I'm like, that's not good, man.
Yeah, that's
all right, yeah.
Some people would get upset, but
Yeah. Susan's encouraging you to do.
We could do Susan doing that. Susan be great.
Yeah.
I know. Welcome to Radio Cayman.
Yeah. She wants you to do an impression of OC.
Of OC?
Yeah. Wow.
Welcome to Radio Cayman. I am Art Connor, and we want to say thank you to Susan. Susan, on the other side of the glass there, I want to put through that caller. Susan, do you have that caller ready? The caller has dropped. All right. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I will be late, and we'll see you then. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. Joel, let's go get a potty. There's so much ways that you could get OC.
Well, we got a call online.
Let's go to the caller.
I say thank you for joining us this afternoon. Good afternoon to you.
Sterling.
Hi, Mom. Hi.
I'm having fun, man.
You should saw us during the break. At least I hope you didn't.
I really hope you didn't.
Listen.
Yes, Mom.
About the TV, you know, me the TV, not a friend, you know.
Uh-huh.
Because I can be dripping my fingers and watching TV at the same time.
Exactly.
So, but I can listen to my radio, okay, man.
Right.
Either way, in the front or the back.
That's right.
As you say.
You got two radios.
Say. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I've been trying to get the one on my phone hooked up too, but I can't get it working.
Uh-huh.
So I care about my little transistor with me when I'm going out. Hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Mom.
Yeah.
Yes, Mom.
I'm always with it. I always got it with me. It's coming back than a credit card.
Well, I honestly...
Because the credit card may bounce, but this not bounce.
Exactly.
You using Sterling credit card or what?
No, she was the government credit card.
Oh my God! Don't you work for the government? I love
Maybe
this.
not for today.
You absolutely right. I knew that it was hard to lose your job in government, but you really just put those nails in the coffin.
Okay, sorry, Mom. We were paying attention to you again.
Jevy?
Yes.
My only credit card is cynical.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, I hear you.
When I got that right?
Yes, Mom.
And look here, I got to get a man a plug in. That massage man, I got him a plug in. But not over the radio, and I want him in person, as close as possible. Listen to me, just now I wasn't quite finished, you know. But my mindset must stop because I was concerning Mr. Mario Rankin. Why never hear him for a little while, but I'm glad that he got a little break off, but that he is still listening to us.
Yes. That's the beautiful part of technology.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
sir. And he not forgetting Cayman, you know.
Not at all.
Well, east, west, north, south, or wherever, he not forgetting us.
That's it. We appreciate it.
And no.
Mm-hmm.
Look at on just maybe went blank, you know.
Oops, sorry. All right, well, while you're thinking, and always you can share, 949-8837, you can call us. You can WhatsApp 925-3261. You remembered your thought, Mom?
Sterling, yeah. I know WhatsApp, and my phone's got a WhatsApp, and it got all kinds of stuff, but I'm not into none of that.
I hear you.
Listen, about Mr. Mario, I know he's still listening, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Mario, I know you don't forget that you have my number, that you need to call me sometime when you get the time. But like I said earlier, do enjoy. I assume that you and your family is away. So you just enjoy yourselves over there and keep my number that you can always call me whenever you get a chance to call me. I got more to tell you now.
All right.
Okay,
Mom.
Definitely. We'll make sure he gets that message.
I think Jevy will probably deliver to him personally.
Yeah, probably.
All right. And thank you very much, Mom. But greatest respect.
Right.
And I say this, understanding that I love what technology can do, how it's been leveraged.
Right.
Even watching people abuse it, and equally, being caught out. But radio is radio, TV is TV. And as she shared, she can't watch television and do other things. Your ability to take TV somewhat mobile is there, but not like radio. Right? It's portable. It's instantaneous. You can have it on. Watch people exercising with their.
I think radio will continue to be more powerful, just because it is, as you said, that versatile. The minute you're in your car, unless you're under the age of 30, you're listening to the radio. Now, young persons tend to be listening to music off their phones, whatever the case is, but radio still is a pretty dynamic platform. And you may be disappointed in what you hear on the radio, but there's still an overwhelming feeling of what's the correct word here? Satisfaction, because you hear the person, you hear Dwayne, but you really have, unless you know Dwayne, you have no idea of Sterling Ugly. You have it's You're not too sure. But the minute you put the show on TV,
now you know.
Then you can be like, oh, he is ugly. Oh. So it's like radio is always just a little bit more satisfying, because it's like you hear what you want to hear,
So you plan to come back tomorrow then?
Yeah, tomorrow would probably be the last day before my surgery.
Yeah. All right, we got a news break. But when we come back, Jevi will continue, hopefully. Stay with us.
Yes.
All right, we're going to be speaking about World Breastfeeding Week. So please stay tuned. We'll talk today.
Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
A Facebook message promising cash, cell phones, and prizes from the Coca-Cola Company is a scam. That's according to the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service Financial Crime Unit. They say the message requests the recipient to send banking and other personal information in order to claim prizes. Victims say the message also claimed the lottery was approved and legalized in the Cayman Islands by the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. But police say that is definitely not the case. If you get any one of these messages, they say not to answer it and forward it to them at rcips.fcu@gov.ky. You can also give them a call. The number's 949-8797. In international headlines, a coordinated assault on a government compound in eastern Afghanistan killed at least 15 people, and a roadside bomb in the western part of the country killed 11 others today. No one immediately claimed responsibility for the attacks. The Taliban and Islamic State group carry out near-daily attacks in the area. U.S. intelligence make new claims that North Korea is building new intercontinental ballistic missiles capable of reaching America, this despite recent rounds of peace talks. And British MPs say there's been an abject failure in the aid sector dealing with sexual abuse. It follows revelations that Oxfam workers used young prostitutes in 2011 in Haiti after a major earthquake. Those are your headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom. I'm April Cummings.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
The following is a public service announcement. The Council of the Justices of the Peace Association is pleased to advise the public that general document signing services will be provided 3 days a week in the front lobby of the Government Administration Building. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, between the hours of 9 a.m. and 12 noon, the following services will be provided by volunteer justices: witnessing a signature on an authentic document, certifying a document as a true copy of the original once the original has been provided, witnessing a signature and completing the portion on a Cayman Islands or British passport application, including acknowledging that the photo provided is a true likeness. Please note, a JP must have known the passport applicant for no less than 2 years before signing the application. Identification cards must be presented, and persons seeking the services of the justices must ensure that proper attire is worn when visiting the Government Administration Building.
Wow, looks good. What is that?
Chicken chair.
What did you just say to me?
Chicken chair.
I am not a chicken chair.
Whoa, I said chicken share. It's from KFC. Bucket of 12 hot wings, 6 pieces of chicken, or 8 tenders. KFC chicken share. Just $12 each.
Oh.
Want some chicken, tenders, or hot wings?
You're sharing your chicken share with me?
The new chicken share from KFC. Just $12 each. And it's finger-licking good. Dine at KFC Baytown Plaza, KFC Shedden Road, or KFC at the Strand.
Don't forget to tune in every Monday through Friday for the 7 a.m. news, brought to you by Cayman National Bank, proudly serving the Cayman Islands since 1974. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon, and welcome back to Talk Today. In the studio, I'm really honored to continue having a good company of Mr. Jevaughnie Ebanks join us. Jevy, do you see why this job is so rewarding? I mean, that's why they don't pay me much, because not only do I get a company view, but look.
Sure, that's the reason why. Yes. All right.
Yeah,
that's the reason they don't pay you much.
There you go, man. Well, World Breastfeeding Week, right? Miss Simone Sheehan joins us. Thank you so much, man.
Lovely to be here. Thank you, too.
I was tempted, Jev and I earlier, as we were talking about what we were going to be doing during the segment, we were tempted to have some fun and some jokes, but we won't do that. Because
I actually heard you on the radio. I was ready.
I think that was all Sterling. You see how people can drag you down?
I was driving on my way here and I'm going,
So you talk about people who know and who don't know, right?
Right.
Someone knows. Okay, well, set the stage for us and get you to set.
Introduce my panel.
Yes.
So we have Mrs. Layla Carnahan. I never say
Aiken. It's been a while since I've been married.
I know. And she is a member of the breastfeeding support group, and she's also a paediatric nurse at the HSA. And then we have Mrs. Annette O'Brien, who is a midwife and very much an expert on breastfeeding as well, and has delivered a lot of babies and given a lot of great advice on breastfeeding.
Well, what Jeff was saying, you progress, right?
Yes.
I thought he was saying progress. But he's saying he's progress.
That's right. That's I believe, I have a lot of things that come through on social media, and I see a lot of women actually struggle when having their baby, and they can have a lot of complications. And so that was one of the hashtags that I saw, which just sounded great anyway, to be progress. It was like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Back to sleep, I thought was good, Miss Annette. You go right here, girl. We're going to have fun this afternoon.
Yes, definitely.
No, but the thing is, we talk about breastfeeding, and Simone, you've been here, I think, with us now a number of years specifically. The idea that in our society, if I say this inappropriately or people offend you, let me know, because it seems that the more advanced that we become, the more we think, we don't need, to breastfeed. When I say we, I mean the mothers, right? The nursing mothers, because we can get all these things elsewhere. But then the more we start to understand the importance of it, the more we need to educate and say, hey, what your grandparents and mothers and great-grandparents or grandmothers did, it was a reason for that. It made you healthier, smarter. It improved your overall life expectancy. Right?
You're correct. I don't have current stats on whether breastfeeding rates are actually going up or down. Do either of you know?
In Cayman, no. We don't have those stats, actually.
But even globally, but I last year was
lucky
enough...
people not breastfeeding anymore? That what you mean when you say breastfeeding stats?
Statistics. Sorry, statistics, sorry. On like current rates.
On how much? I thought everybody just breastfed. Like, I didn't know that.
Oh, that would be an ideal world.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. No, people don't always breastfeed.
No, I mean, you just can't go around...
What? Sterling, we still on radio? Behave yourself.
Okay.
No, but in terms of babies, some mothers opt. You're saying opt to not breastfeed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why?
It's very much a personal decision and a personal preference, and obviously we provide actually antenatal classes at the hospital. The HSA provide free antenatal classes for parents and families.
What is that?
Antenatal classes, like parenthood classes.
Okay,
yeah.
Right.
So before you deliver your baby, and but. So you get there's a breastfeeding talk in one of those classes, and we provide information and explain why it's so beneficial to breastfeed. But there are ladies who decide not to for whatever reason, and again,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you obviously will support them equally in whatever choice they make, but ideally and optimally we would be going for breastfeeding if possible.
If I may ask, what are some of the personal reasons that persons have opted to say, well, I don't want to breastfeed?
Sometimes it's lack of information, to be perfectly honest with you. They might be just scared, afraid to try. Sometimes it's because of past medical history, whether that be maybe surgery in the past or illnesses in the past.
Medication as well. Certain medications you can't breastfeed because it'll come through.
There's not a lot anyway. Thankfully that's not a lot anymore, but it still can have an impact. Yeah, for sure. But thankfully, actually, certainly at the beginning, once baby's delivered, our breastfeeding rates, would be good actually in the maternity unit. We certainly would have a a high rate of mums who definitely start anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I couldn't tell you 3 months down the line what the percentage would be that are continuing and exclusively breastfeeding, but it's certainly high, yeah.
I think if you have the family support as well, if you have a grandparent who's breastfed, then it's likely that the daughter will breastfeed, and it is having that family support around you as well, and also your husband as well, having that partner support.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you do need that.
Yeah.
You constantly breastfeeding, so you have to let go of the house, so you have to let go of the cooking, and you need a partner who's very understanding and will support you, will provide the food and the cooking and the housework at the end of the day.
If a lady has a baby, she will naturally produce breast milk. What happens in the event that a mother who, say, didn't have any form of breast surgery, just decided to not breastfeed the child? Do they continue to produce milk? What?
They would have a certain amount, yeah, but then we would give advice on how to not increase the supply, and yes, that hopefully the letdown reflex wouldn't occur. But yeah, it's you definitely need to take care. It is. Yeah, it is.
No, because prior to today, I've had friends who've had babies and friends right now who are pregnant.
Girls?
Well, but I always thought that the natural inclination was to breastfeed. I wasn't aware that
it
this
is
was a
in
diverse.
fairness, for the most part, I would say here definitely there's at least, I would say, a 90% plus uptake on breastfeeding at birth here. Definitely, it is very good. It is very good.
I think the struggles are when people have to go back to work after 6 weeks. That's the biggest challenge that we face, because the maternity leave is short, and a lot of people are not able to afford to take that extra time. And so to go back to work full time, particularly if you haven't got an understanding employer, or you have the type of job that doesn't allow you to be too flexible, then that's very challenging. I think it's one of our biggest challenges.
Even at 4 months, when I went back to work, and I worked for the hospital, my milk dried up because of the stress of going back to work, having to then try and feed, try and express breast in a room that doesn't even have a lock on it. It was quite stressful, and just the milk just dried up, and it does happen. And stress is one of the indications that breast milk does dry up.
I think the supportive environment, the culture in which you live. Just take, for instance, if people, let's say the mother's out with the family, they're at dinner or they're at a play, and the young one is there and it's ready to eat. Is there a consciousness around the place that you just do what you need to do without people staring or making you feel uncomfortable?
That has been an argument on the internet lately.
And it's actually quite good. I've never had any issues with that here. The coffee shops here, Icoa, full of beans that would go in. I'd say breastfeed, and they were very supportive actually. And you don't have to expose every single part of your breast. I always used to carry a shawl, and she'd just tuck in and feed. I had friends who were very supportive.
I was up at Rum Point. I took my friends to Stingray City, and we were having food, and there was a lady there, and she was starting to breastfeed. I wanted to clap her because I had seen on the internet persons get really upset when they saw women breastfeed, and I'm like, it is. Like, I was very proud to see someone taking that stand to say it's okay to be able to feed a baby in public. But I think
it's wonderful that you're so encouraging, but she might not have appreciated that wrong because everyone would turn around and look at her.
I didn't, but I was tempted.
Well, it was a lovely sentiment, but I think she might have gone, oh no.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's a great sentiment.
But to have that attitude is brilliant,
Yeah. And that's where it comes to. Because you look sometimes the challenges that working mothers in particular would have, but even that mother who is, as the young one, she's shopping. I saw recently this in the supermarket. Had I not been conscious of what she was doing, you would know. She would just walk in. The child was just.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, she's sleeping and she's holding her. No, she was doing it appropriately, and I'm glad to know that she felt comfortable, that she had the support and the wherewithal to do it. But
they have great slings nowadays.
Yes,
they have fantastic slings and carriers, and you can be extremely discreet about it. You're not.
I never understood why somebody saw it as a problem, because I didn't know that it was seen as so controversial until I got back on Facebook and I see videos of men just shouting in restaurant.
They've done it's like almost like bystander intervention of these. Oh gosh, I can't think of the word now, but you'd see these video clips on Facebook where they would set up a scene, and the woman would be breastfeeding,
improvisation,
kind of thing, and just to test see what people, how their reaction would be. And it was quite amazing to see like that, some people walking by and going, you know, go inside.
They were the ones who weren't breastfed, I bet.
Most likely. But in today's world, with everything that's going on, and you know, it's amazing that there's still an issue around breastfeeding in public,
right.
You know.
Yeah, well, I think it's amazing that we can have this discussion here, and hopefully it'll encourage you know, more families, that husbands, fathers, to be supportive of their wives. You know.
If I can ask, what are some other complications that persons may have, you know, with breastfeeding? Because I know there's a foundation. So, like, what are the support that you guys provide?
Well, there's an excellent Cayman Islands breastfeeding support group, which are all volunteers. I'll let Miss Leila speak to that because she's a member.
There's a list of numbers that are handed out in maternity, and we're on call. But basically, you phone up, and if we're able to, we actually do home visits. And if we can't do home visits because one of us is working, we then refer you on to a colleague who can then come round and help support you in the home.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's some of the challenges?
Pardon?
Some of the challenges of Jevaughnie. I mean, you know, you watch your wives, you know, with the children. The child doesn't latch on, or you know, doesn't get it right away, and so the mother is, you know, maybe frustrated, maybe learning how to do things properly, just like everything, you know. And that support network is important.
And sometimes I don't even have to. There isn't a problem. It's just saying, no, you're doing fine, and that's all they want. They're just the reassurance. That's all they need to hear, because obviously some of the people here, parents are overseas and they don't have that support there. So and the husbands aren't familiar with it either. So that's what I'm just going in. So you're doing fine. Just get outside, get some fresh air, and you're doing great.
I want you guys to remind. I mean, those who know, but as you said, Ms. Annette, the idea it could be information, education for those who don't. There are significant medical benefits, long-term benefits, even their educational benefits. But before we get there, the idea that for those who breastfeed, you know, get them to that point where they start to understand that this is something that is important, economical, it's convenient.
It's cheap.
It's green. It's green because you don't have any cans, any tins to deal with afterwards. You're not using as much water. You're not using electricity to heat
There's
up
no
the milk.
infection risk.
It just makes sense.
So it's much greener for the
entire aisle.
Tagline for it. It just makes sense.
It's like it just makes sense. Like you always go into the supermarket. There's an entire aisle for baby food, and I had no idea why. It's because there's some parents who opt. I honestly
see that, man. Where you learn on Radio Cayman.
I know, right?
All right, we're going to take a quick break, right? When we come back, we'll discuss it. Maybe there's some myths as to why maybe some people think, oh, well, you know, my breasts, I can say that, right? That's okay. You know, they're not for that because they're not too small, they're not too big, whatever it is. Any myths, but we want you to show you the benefits. Hey, World Breastfeeding Week, we want to tell you about it. Please stay tuned for Talk Today.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Country classics.
One night of love don't make up for 6 nights alone.
No one could steer me right, but Mama tried. Mama tried. You're cheating hard. You load 16 tons. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. I'm a honky-tonk man.
Country classics.
She's a good-hearted woman in love with a good time tonight. On a Sunday morning sidewalk.
If you enjoy classic country music, come hang out with Radio Cayman this Saturday, 3:30 to 6 p.m.
I'm so lonesome I could cry. I'd love to wake up in your arms tomorrow, but I'm so afraid of losing you again.
This Saturday afternoon, following American Country Countdown, 3:30 to 6 on Radio Cayman.
Country classics.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. And thanks for joining us, and thanks too for the Health Services Authority for helping us to continue to not just inform but involve our public. And if there's a way to make our people healthier, make them feel supported, I think it's great. As we talk about World Breastfeeding Week,
support is a good word, by the way. This what we talk about support.
So breast and support goes hand in hand. What do you say, Jeff? You and I are gonna get in trouble. Miss Layla and Miss Annette joins Miss Simone now. World Breastfeeding, August the 1st to the 8th, is it?
1st to the 7th.
7th? Okay. Well, one extra
Close
day
enough.
For the men to this, get reminded.
No, you have to say the 1st to the 8th because, Caymanians run on a delayed time. So if you want them to make the 1st to the 7th, you got to extend it to the 8th just so that they make it by the 7th. Don't worry.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We on, everybody go on Eastern Standard Time or, Central Time, but we go on Caymanian time. We kind of get there when we get there, but we don't need you to have that attitude for this.
You're telling my friend from Hawaii, man.
What?
So you're telling my friend from Hawaii. When will we be there? When we get there.
When we get there. That's early, right?
Yeah.
But we want you to get out there for this because this is an important topic. This is opening up a conversation that I've never had before.
Yeah,
so
you're still young, we'll bring you along.
What you mean by that, Dwayne?
No, but Miss Simone, if I may ask, right, through you and Miss Layla particularly, in Cayman, is there a reluctance in our society, or are we getting to a point now where the norm and the expectation is that if all is okay, that as the mother for the first go off, we'll give it a try?
I'm leaning towards the latter part of that statement because I do think generally, as Annette said, we have very high initiation rates. I think in the high to mid 90s, really.
Okay. Wow.
And when you come into the hospital and to have your baby, we don't necessarily encourage or make it easy for you to formula feed. We're not bullying, but we're definitely making sure you're aware of the choices, but that breastfeeding is recommended. So we do have fantastic initiation rates, which we can be very proud of. Yeah. So that is a reflection of the culture and the attitude, very positive and encouraging attitude that's in Cayman for breastfeeding, I think.
Now, is there an instance where women would say, well, no, I'm not designed for breastfeeding because I don't have this, mine are too small or they're not. Are there any myths like that? Because I've heard one story way back when where, the mother had said, well, no, she's just not of the size to go forward and produce.
I think it's more to do with, you can have a scenario like an inverted nipple, but there's prosthetics you can use to kind of help still get the milk out. But I think
the size of the breast doesn't matter.
Whether it's small or big, even big, large breasts. People are worried about suffocating with the large breasts, and to be honest, no, it doesn't.
It's more confident.
And they can position the baby in different ways as well.
Football,
depending on the anatomy. But and if anybody is wondering and beforehand, and again I come back to before you actually have the baby, if you're ever wondering about anything or want to come in and ask us questions, you're always welcome. You're always welcome, and actually that sometimes helps prevent problems feeding at the once the baby's born. So again, like I said, information is so important.
Is there a way men can get involved, not obviously not with breastfeeding, but like being able to understand more so that they can be more supportive?
Yeah, I think for sure taking part in maybe, like I said, the classes are open to anybody to come along. They're on every Monday evening from 5 to 7 in the Women's Health Department. So they're more than welcome to come along. We welcome the dads, definitely. And as Layla said, they play a huge part in just support alone, I've had dads who are doubting the whole process of breastfeeding, and it's very disheartening for the mum when she's not getting the support that she needs. So for the dads, I say get on board, please, because honestly, the support, even as like Layla said, the mum just has to sit down and just feed her baby and rest when she can, and dad really does have to step in and help, and make her something to eat or even a cup of tea or whatever it is. So yes, the dads are important.
I just think there's no bottle washings for the dad. Because he doesn't have to wash any bottles or nipples.
Dad can always do the baths and
exactly.
dye the diapers
of the baby.
and hold the baby and do all the things.
The winding part of it. Yes.
The what? The winding?
Yeah, burping them afterwards.
Burping after trying to get the wind up.
Not
all new. Listen, I held my nephew the other day.
We should have brought a glossary or something.
You really should have. I held my nephew the other day for the first time, and he just started to cough. I'm like, take him, because I don't know what to do,
Yeah. They're scary. Newborn babies can be a little bit.
They don't tell you what's wrong. They just make noise. They don't show no appreciation.
They don't come with a manual, do they?
No,
they
you
don't.
just need to love them,
especially
and that's
your first
all they
one.
need.
Yes, exactly.
No matter how much you try, like, hey, come here, they still cry when you ugly. Like it doesn't matter. It's no matter how nice you're trying to be to them.
That's why I hold my at night only. It worked perfectly.
You see that? We need to include that into your class.
Yeah. It was dark. The child was fed and ready to bed. I turned the lights off. They couldn't see me for long.
This show just took a left.
Oh my! No, but for fathers in particular, as you say, Miss Annette, be as supportive of your wives, your mothers, because it's a lot of work. It's not just easy. When she's finished, breastfeeding, she can be exhausted.
Oh, very much so.
I think we realize that.
Especially because you're feeding on demand, so you can be, and sometimes babies do something called cluster feeding, where it just feels like you have not done anything else that day but just feed.
Yeah.
And some babies go through that little step or stage as well, and then they have growth spurts. The first one happens at about 4 weeks, and then the baby gets really hungry and wants to feed a lot more than they had been. And it's just very tiring.
I'm still in a growth spurt. That's why I eat so much. I just want, I'm glad there's a medical term for this. You have
cluster
no much
feeding.
Cluster feeding. You have no idea how much I appreciate you right now. There's so much love in this room. I'm cluster feeding.
So you don't get this anywhere else, man?
You absolutely don't.
Free therapy, my friend.
Hashtag Team HSA. Y'all doing it right.
Now, for World Breastfeeding Week and the benefits, hopefully people will be familiar to them, but sometimes it's just worth repeating, right? Some of the benefits, short term and long term. We talk about the economical, it's clean, it's efficient, but the educational benefits. Ms. Leila?
Promotes education. Breastfeeding helps promote cognitive mental development, and if you breastfeed longer than 12 months, you have an increase in IQ.
Yeah.
Come again?
Increase in IQ if you breastfeed more than 12 months.
What if you're starting now late in life?
A bit late. Especially you guys.
It's illegal.
No comment. No.
Next.
But there's also other benefits, because if you breastfeed your baby, for the mum, there's a delayed contraceptive effect, delayed onset of menstruation afterwards. Right. There's getting your figure back. There's also lower risk of ovarian and breast cancer later in life. And then for the children themselves that were breastfed, they have lower rates of obesity, for example.
Diabetes.
Heart
problems.
Yeah.
And their immune system is much better as well, right?
Yeah.
And we laugh, but this is very serious. Hopefully people would, in the laughter, understand that it's important if we can.
Yeah, it is.
Well, in the official paperwork I was looking at today, it said...
Oh, yes, we have official paperwork.
If I have to take off my glasses, actually. If breastfeeding did not already exist, someone who invented it today would deserve a dual Nobel Prize for medicine and economics.
Wow.
And that is from the World Bank, one of the directors of the World Bank. So everybody sees not just the health, but the economical, the global, environmental, improve food security, all of it. It's a question of whether you can afford not to breastfeed, really.
And it helps with poverty. If you can't afford to feed, especially if you can't afford to buy the breast milk, the formula, if you feed the mother, you feed the child, and that's basically it.
That's it.
And that's it in a nutshell.
I had a friend. He knew the discussion was today. It was so amazing. They were traveling recently with the young one, and circumstances being what they were just difficult to be able to feed and to get. And all of the other children, you can get little snacks because they were older, but this little one needed, and the ability to, as you said, Ms. Leila, get the mother food, and with one you feed two. And he thought, wow, it was so striking to him then that here is this little child just as comfortable, as sustained, as nourished as necessary and as needed, and not have to be fussing about it because the mother could do stuff.
That's right. You get her a steak and a glass of wine, and she can feed for two. That's great.
I don't know, Miss Annette. From the perspective of the support group, as we talk about, out there. When we're talking about getting more and more people involved and being supportive and then encouraging them, yeah, help us.
Well, sometimes what you'd find in, certainly for the first few days, it wouldn't be the mum. Well, the mum needs a lot of reassurance. How do I know my baby's getting enough? And that's the question we hear every single day in the maternity unit. How do I know my baby's getting enough food? But you can't see a physical volume, obviously, in a bottle, So, and oftentimes, certainly for the first few days until your milk is in, there would be tiny amounts, but it's enough to sustain them for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours between feeds. But it's often the families, when they come in, they're like, oh, baby's hungry, we need to give the baby a bottle. It's straight to the bottle. So again, it comes down to not just educating the parents. Sometimes you have to educate their parents, the grandparents and the aunties and cousins and friends, because they're worried that this baby is not getting enough food. So again, from our point of view on maternity, it's about educating them all, and reassurance is a huge part of it. To say they're fine, they're having wet and dirty nappies, and they will go to sleep.
If not, the child will be fussy if it's hungry or whichever, right?
Yeah. And babies cry naturally. There are other reasons they cry besides hunger. And I think whenever people hear a baby cry, it's like, okay, we need to put a bottle in the baby's mouth because it's crying. But they cry just for attention, just wanted to be held. And I think if you just settle them down and go with your own instincts as well. And like you said, if they were having wet nappies, poo nappies, then they're getting the nutrition they need.
Sterling's still doing that. The crying for attention.
Crying for attention. Yes, I confided with him once and this is what happens. I'm not sure. I think after
so you say you it's best to breastfeed a baby for a year. How soon after that is the baby able to eat?
Well, you start at 6 months solids. However, you can go longer than a year. There are some women who breastfeed up to 2-3 years.
I mean, the WHO recommendation is exclusive for 6 months and breastfeeding up to 2 years.
Yeah.
But complementary feeding needs to start at around 6 months, unless there's a reason to start it sooner or later. But typically 6 months, the milk alone is not going to give the baby all the nutrients that it needs. And when babies are born, they have stores of iron and other nutrients, and by 6 months of age those levels have depleted, so food needs to be introduced to try and replenish some of those, while at the same time continuing with the milk breastfeeding, because you still get other benefits as well.
But there is a point where you're too young, obviously, to I learned that the hard way, because my nephew just wouldn't eat the banana I was giving him, and I couldn't figure out why.
And he's how many days old?
At the time, he was 3-4 months, and I couldn't figure out why he wouldn't. It was a little piece of banana. I thought he could handle it. Like, he comes from a family of eaters, and I thought that he would handle, just a bite of banana. But apparently, I was wrong, and mama got upset at me. I was just trying to care for the baby. I didn't know.
He's just saw when he gave the conch.
It's not like that's the first thing I would give my child. I want him to start off right. Conch.
Well, I think it gets confusing because the previous guidelines were 4 to 6 months, but then they changed it to 6 months because they were having so many issues with obesity and other reasons too. So they delayed the commencement of complementary food.
Well, listen, we would love, as Ms. Susan, I do apologize. When you were on, I always enjoy it. This is good fun. I think it's probably one of our favourite topics, right, Jerry?
Yeah.
Definitely. The idea of educating people about health.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about.
Well, thank you for having us. And as we said, anybody's always welcome to call the maternity unit or contact the breastfeeding support group, and we're there to help and to give advice.
I was thinking though, Javi, if they go into the meetings,
there
should be
it should be some people like you can't come to the meetings. Like, let's make sure you having a baby or somebody who having a child. You don't want Sterling just showing up. Like, you don't want that. I was about to say like,
pre-requirements.
Yeah, pre-requirement. Like a baby being the most important one. Somewhere along the line.
See, this is how we go. Ms. Leland, any thoughts you want to leave with the listeners after that?
No. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to discuss this in a good way like this.
No, we appreciate it, and it's natural, it's fun, but I'm hopeful that people who are listening weren't overly offended. If they did, just call me and I'll get Jevy to apologize. But seriously, breast is best, and if you are struggling, please reach out to the HSA, the maternity unit. The support group is there. If you are, a breastfeeding mother, thank you so much for hanging in there.
And if you're struggling at work with pumping and so on, the Family Resource Centre has dedicated rooms for working mums who maybe don't have a place of employment where they can do that privately and comfortably. The Government Administration building next door has a dedicated breastfeeding room. Other firms around the island, I know for sure Walkers does, have in their building dedicated rooms. So I think there is a lot more positivity at the workplace and feeding as well, which is great.
Excellent. And this is because of the continuing education that you share and the championing for this. We see the benefits. So thank you all very much. I enjoyed the laughter, but also value the education.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tomorrow is even better.
Yes, it's going to be great.
Join me, Story Corner in the morning for the record, but come back for Talk Today right after the midday news. And until then, Jevy, we will say, be blessed.
God bless. Have fun, be safe, and don't be crazy.
Talk Today is brought to you by South Coast Bar and Grill in Breakers, a true Caymanian experience.
Voice of the Cayman Islands, Radio Cayman.
We love our listeners.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.